And then Hannah, you do fitness?
Yeah. So
I mean, you look extremely fit.
Oh, thank you. I do fitness, I guess you could say. Yeah, I am a fitness coach online, and I do bikini competitions.
And you win.
Of course.
Huge.
Always.
Killing
Always.
it. Killing the bikini
You know what I
competition.
respect about fitness coaches? Like Tehran's question, do you do fitness? You see a fitness coach and they have to do fitness, right? You have to kind of look good and be in shape. And there are so many people out there, and like reporters get this a lot when they report on, for example, I watch MMA, and there's reporters who talk crap about the fighters, but they've never fought a time in their life. And I feel the best way to learn is to learn from someone who's been through it themselves.
I don't know
so
if that's true.
I respect the fitness coach.
I don't know if that's true, because basketball coaches who play basketball aren't the best basketball coaches. I'll tell you that right now.
Some of them are good.
Some of them are good. No, they're not. Only a couple. Here's the hands down. Here's the hands down situation. What do you feel is the most necessary component to yoga and or fitness?
I would say just like consistency and discipline overall. Like you can say that you're fit and you can like talk the talk or whatever, but you have to actually put in the work and consistently put in the work, like regardless of your circumstances. And I feel like that's what like sets you apart from everyone else, because some people will follow like a diet or a program for like a week or a month and then they'll just kind of like give up. But if you stay doing that consistently and you're disciplined in doing that, then that's when you'll be successful.
So this is a lifetime commitment. You've committed your lifetime to this.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And with yoga?
I would say self-love. That's like what I always like am portraying or whatever, but it's very true with anything like yoga, fitness. You can't do it and like be successful until you have like that self-love, and like pretty much it comes with like the discipline and that just that daily work that you put in before you come in contact with other people. Like wake up early, like do your thing, put in the work, do the yoga, do the fitness. Yeah. And like do it for yourself, not for other people.
Do it for yourself. That's a component a lot of people don't realize. So when you say do it for yourself, you mean for your own reasons, or
just, I mean, you don't want to do it because you're doing it for someone else. It's going to be much more like impactful for yourself and like for your life, and opportunities will flow to you better if you're doing it for yourself, and people will be drawn to you regardless. So if you're
so basically it's the antithesis of a relationship, because I'll tell you this as a guy, most of the things that we do in a relationship are only for you. We're not doing this for ourselves whatsoever. Like we don't want to have long text conversations. We don't want to talk on the phone. We don't want to brunch, because what's the point of going to brunch if we're not going to meet bitches? Like there's just no point. I just want to understand.
Can I say my words of the week now? Because I think we need some healing in this room. You cannot love someone without loving yourself first. It will never work. This is Mr. GK, and these are my words of the week.
Amen.
That sounds good, except I'm going to tell you right now, I could hate myself and love Oprah. Like, listen, if I hated myself and I was like on the borderline of like being, it's all over, and then Oprah walked in my life, I'd be like, but you know what, Oprah, that $1 billion, I love you.
So let me ask you something. So rather than going on a journey to love, would you just rather pay for it?
Do you feel like we pay for love? Is that something we do as in the world? A lot of people think that,
can you
like
explain?
dating.
I mean, there's girls who are in it for that. If you're into girls that are only in it for that, like for the extra like things that guys are paying for. But like when there's people like maybe us who aren't in it for just the money, it shouldn't be about that. Like you're not doing it, because of money.
But that's okay. Here's the thing. On a date where a guy takes you out, pays for everything, and then the hope is, oh, I pay for this, the date was good, I get a kiss. And then I take you on a couple more dates, and then I get more than a kiss. And then I take you on even more dates, and then we're married. Like,
that's an interesting order of events.
Dates to marriage.
Well, that's kind of what it is.
No, I mean, I guess I do agree with that, actually. Marriage and relationships, like living with someone and like getting married or whatever, it is pretty much an investment. You're pretty much paying.
There's a cost involved, right?
Yeah, but that's why like I don't know, the new age. I feel like that's why no one's getting married as quickly.
Yeah, because we're all broke. Do you know what these prices are? Do you know what rent costs? I live in West Hollywood. It's not cheap. I'm one rent late payment due being gay. Like, seriously? If I just gotta suck someone off to get rent paid?
Here's the thing, though, right? So whether it's a time investment, cash investment, dinner investment, I feel dating someone on both sides of the coin, not just men dating a woman, women dating men, you do have to invest your time. You have to invest money to make it work and stuff. And sometimes it is easier, like you talk about self-love and indulging in things that build yourself up. It's the easier investment sometimes. It's less cost, less time consideration. And at what point do you cross over and say, okay, I've invested enough into myself, now I'm going to invest into someone else? When do you know you're ready?
Yeah.
I was just talking about this.
Yeah, we were just talking about this in the car.
Like,
that's crazy.
I'm not
It's not crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not
we bike your car.
Like we don't have to worry about it because of all the time that we're spending on ourselves. Like, I just told her in the car, like, I've been investing so much into myself, and like everything is just working out for me, and I know that like my future husband is doing the same thing right now.
Wow,
like
profound.
He's working on himself. Like, he's not like worrying about paying for someone. Like, he's focusing on himself. So once we're getting aligned right now, and it's just a matter of time.
Very profound.
Yeah. I would say that it's not like there's like a moment where you're like, okay, I'm done working on myself. Like, now I can go find someone. It's like, whoever is meant to come into your life, like if you are working on yourself, then like that person will come in and you'll just like align with them.
Yeah.
Like, you'll feel that connection. It doesn't have to be like forced or anything like that.
So timing is key.
Yeah, 100%.
So the time to love yourself is now.
Yeah.
But the
Always.
time to love someone else will come. Bars.
It'll
all
just
day.
come, and you won't even like be looking for it. It'll just happen.
Yeah.
And I know that. Like, I feel
Sounds like the best
in my
sex
heart.
life ever. So listen, this is what we do. Each and every week, we try to get to know you both a little better. And while sure, we might know your occupations or your names, we don't know the true you. So we play a little game. And the game is called Either Or. Now,
Oh God.
the rules are very simple. We ask you to follow the rules. It's either or. Not both, not neither, either or. So please try to
We strongly encourage you.
We suggest.
And kindly ask.
ask nicely.
Ask.
Because we're all about consent here.
Yeah.
So
ask
we
for your
consensually
consent
ask
to
you
answer.
to answer the.
And again, like you said, no gray area. And you got to just pick one of the two. We ask you kindly to pick one of the two options.
This sounds sketch.
This will be
Okay, I'm
interesting.
ready.
Okay?
We also might happen to analyze your answer, but don't let that bother you. So, George, would you like to start?
Yes, I'd love to start. First one, running or bicycling?
Who's going first?
Either way.
Running.
Running. I feel like there's
Now-
a hidden meaning behind this.
Now,
There is.
when you run, and when your foot hits the ground, you make the decision for your foot to hit the ground. You're in full control of your foot, and you hit the ground running.
Who are you speaking to right now?
When you're on a bike, I am speaking to both of you because we are all connected right now in this very moment. I'm tapping into your wavelengths. When you're on the bike, there's a second element involved. It's a material object that is not you. So control, although you can control how the bike moves, you can't control the quality of the bike. When you're running, it's all you. And you two as independent, ambitious women like having control of your own destinies. You've taken it and you're running with it, and that's why you chose running.
I
Interesting.
love that. Thank you. I love that.
Yeah. Very profound. You both chose running.
Yeah.
Lesbians. Now, hear me out, right? It's a lesbian vibe in running. No. Running, to me, for Mel, for example, constitutes freedom. She's all about freedom, not having to draw within the lines. But then Hannah paused. You paused before you
did.
said running.
There was a pause.
Because you're a bit pragmatic. You're like, well, bicycling is more consistent. I can bicycle. I can go inside even if it rains. I can get to the bicycle. But if I had to choose between which one I feel is good, and bicycling is actually better. It's better for your joints. You thought all these things, and then you're like, but you know what? I don't care about the rules. I like running, and you chose running.
That's very
nice.
true.
That is
Nice.
such a good representation of us as people.
Yeah.
And that's why we mesh
Oh
so
my
well.
God.
Yeah,
I feel like you just looked into my soul right now.
That's what I do. I look into
Kinda
people's
creepy.
souls. That is what I do. That is what I do.
Tehran?
And
You're
also lesbians. So because it is, I have a theory that all women are lesbians and that we force feed ourselves as men onto women. Like if I was a woman, I would never want to be with a guy ever. Because guys were just horrible, and women are they're beautiful and sensual and smart and fun and conversation and laughing, and it's so great. It's like, and then the guy's like, food. And you're like, oh man, here comes Mike again, ruining my good time. Question for you, either or. Texting or phone conversation?
They're both so. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, think
really
out loud.
hard.
We want to hear the
they're
thought
both
process.
so good.
I mean, I know you said don't choose the gray area, but
No.
really does.
We asked you
We
not
asked
to.
you kind of.
Yeah.
So if you choose the gray area, you're just simply not playing either or. You're playing your own game, which you have created on your own construction. However, in either or, the point is to make a tough, difficult decision.
Yeah.
So texting or phone call.
Gosh, I love phone. Like I love talking on the phone, but like if it's like with someone new,
Yeah. It
it's-
really depends.
Texting is always like such a good like playful way to get to know someone. Because talking on the phone sometimes is awkward if you don't know that person too well,
Right.
and sometimes like you can't hear. Like I'd rather like, okay,
I would say texting.
I would say texting
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, but at the same time,
It does
talking
depend.
on the phone.
I know. It does depend on the person and like what you're talking about. Like if it's over like some sort of issue that you need to solve, I feel like phone is obviously way better. Cuz like texting you
Always.
can't tell someone's like emotions and stuff. But yeah, like if it's someone new or like I feel like getting a text is so much more exciting than like getting a phone call. If that makes
Especially
sense.
because like in today's day, like we're always so busy, like all of
Yeah.
us, like you like can't talk on the phone all the time unless it's like
and like waiting for someone's response, it can be like exciting. Like
yeah, it is.
yeah, rather than like if you're on the phone, it's very just like to the point, like not really a lot of excitement build up, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. George?
Melspiration. When you eat, do you like having a light salad or appetizer before your entree?
Usually.
I thought so.
Why?
Melspiration, you have routines in your life that have helped you become successful.
That's true.
And you enjoy this step. You love the calls, you love the texts. You enjoy the text as a precursor to the conversation because the way you do your routines is you step into something. You don't irrationally jump into something. There are steps and levels, and you enjoy going through these life processes. So you enjoy the text the same way you enjoy the phone calls, but there's also a process and build up to the call that you enjoy in that build up. Confrontational, Hannah. Now, when you're in a text, sometimes you just can't get to the root of things. A little too impersonal. The reason why you like the phone call is when you face an obstacle in your life, when you face a new endeavor, you like to holistically experience this endeavor, or you like to holistically confront something and deal with it. And for you, a text ain't going to cut it. You're going to make sure the task is complete. You don't start something and not finish it. No. That's not what you do. You're not a 10%er. You're a 100%er when you do something. When you get to a new task, you master it, or you at the very least complete it and move on to something else if you don't like it.
Wow, I love
Interesting.
that. I love
Interesting.
that.
Interesting take. I had a slightly different take.
Yes,
And
do share.
lesbians. And here's the thing about it, right?
He just wants it to be true.
I
It's
know.
the thing.
Is it because we agree or what?
It's just how it goes. The texting is flirty. It's fun. It's also to the point. That's how Mel likes it. She likes to be open, honest, transparent as much as possible. Hannah, on the other hand, values her time, and texting saves time. There are times when you're on the phone, the conversation drags, you want to get off, but it's awkward to get off. Then you have to make up the fact that you have to do something that you don't have to do. just be like, oh no, I gotta go wash my hair. I thought you just got out the shower. Yeah, I forgot. And then you gotta go. So, and you don't like doing that. You like to avoid lying as much as possible or creating any awkwardness as much as possible. So what you'd rather do is just not have it. You don't like that because anything that causes you any bit of stress has to go. You just prefer to live in that space. So that plus lesbians. So each and every week we also choose a crush. We choose a crush just to get to know you a little better. A crush. We pick like our audience emails us and we just select one.
Email us at imperfectshow@gmail.com.
Please do. So this week our crush is out of shape crush. It is someone who is out of shape, but you still have a crush on them.
I know you were just like thinking, Hannah, but you looked directly at me, and I looked down at my gut and got very insecure for a second.
I did not look at you.
You kind of did. Hannah kind of did. Subconsciously, you did.
Yeah, subconsciously.
It was a subtle.
She was like, fat, burn the fat. I will train the fat away, melt now.
Yeah, she actually. That's exactly what
laser vision.
When you were blinking, that's what it was. Morse code for burn the fat now.
Now you're just making stuff up.
No. We would never do that.
We felt it.
Men make things up? Never. So please.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't think of anyone. But to be honest, I don't really have a crush right now.
No, it's anyone. It's a famous part, someone we would all know. It's not like Mike from Rite Aid. That's not where we're going.
I know. I'm legit.
So you don't have to have a crush per se, but someone you'd entertain who's out of shape.
This isn't a real relationship. We're not going to hook you up with Neil deGrasse Tyson because that's the out of shape crush that you had. We're trying to get an idea outside of your comfort zone. Mel, please feel free to answer anytime.
Someone who you'd perhaps consider a dinner.
That's how much you disdain out of shape people, both of you?
Yeah. She did.
I mean,
to be honest, kind of.
We both have like very similar type.
Yeah.
What's the type?
What is the type? Let's share the type.
type?
So you know what? Since you don't have an out of shape crush, let's hear what your crush actually is.
Let's hear the type.
Let's hear the type.
Think of someone who's a like.
I mean, I'm seeing guy built neck tattoo.
And I'm impressed because Tehran and I have completely different types. So I'm impressed that you two have the same exact.
I mean, I don't like saying that I have a type, but
you have a type.
Part of my type is definitely someone who takes care of themselves.
Muscles. Built.
Yeah.
Washboard
they don't have
abs.
to be big. Like, they don't have to be like,
I don't like
the
them really
fittest.
big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like them super crazy.
Like
normal,
like
but
skinny
like,
fit. I
yeah,
get it. Yeah,
yeah.
like
Just,
in a bathrobe.
someone who works,
I get it.
You can tell that they work out.
Yeah.
I think that's super attractive.
Man,
because
I know, it's crazy. Let me do a couple push-ups really quick. I gotta, was doing my quads and my bods and my cods later.
Cods.
Earlier. Yeah.
Cods exist.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, they do. Cods are a thing. They just happen to be fish.
Yeah.
So
Codfish. And it's the best fish I've ever had.
It's pretty good. So are you looking at a picture of a guy to show us what a man is supposed to look like?
Honestly,
how emasculating is this
very.
right now? We're looking up a picture of this is what a man is supposed to
look like.
Both of you.
Okay, I actually do. Okay, what's the next question while I find this picture?
No, this is
who are
the
you
question.
looking for?
We'd love
This is
for
the
you.
question.
I can't think of his name.
Okay, so let's forget about the example.
Well, give us a look.
five
Give us a look.
traits.
Break it
5
down.
traits.
Break it down.
Let's
Like,
go
what does
1
he look
through
like?
5.
Okay, so like I said,
Be honest.
someone who's
We'd love
fit,
it.
who's in shape.
In shape,
takes care of
number
themselves,
1.
Yeah. Like traits like physical or
Physical.
Okay,
Physical.
physical.
I like anyone who's
Taller.
Because girls lie about their emotional
Taller.
traits. They're always like, oh, we want
Yeah.
someone nice and sweet and kind. And it's like, no, because all of you date Trevor and he has a man bun and he's not nice, sweet, or kind. So, yeah. So, tall, you like tall.
Tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely tall.
Definitely tall.
Sure, of course.
I don't personally, I don't know how you feel about this. I don't really like a lot of like hair. Like,
So like this would be too much for you?
I mean, like,
So basically, you
my
don't
big
like
thing
George.
is, like,
We get that you
chest
don't like
hair.
George. There's no need.
Okay,
This
like
is what
now
I,
you're
what,
making me feel bad.
Die.
Martin, get this arm hair on
Yeah.
the camera.
This is just a generalization. This
Okay.
doesn't mean like
I'm
this
out of the
is the
equation.
end all
This
be
is just
all.
like
yeah.
the majority of the type Sure, you're not dating a werewolf. I get it. So go on, please.
I like facial hair.
Yeah, facial hair is good.
Facial hair.
Okay,
Facial hair is
we're
good.
back in. We're back in. Okay.
But just not like too like scruffy. Like obviously cleaned up.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go to the barber later.
Good teeth.
Good
Oh
teeth.
yeah,
Good
teeth,
teeth.
smile,
Yeah.
has to be everything.
Good teeth.
Yeah.
Both of us stopped smiling as soon as you said that.
No,
Like
I'm
that.
smiling.
Oh, yeah.
I love like when they're like built, but not like insane. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
like
insane.
I'm really into fitness and stuff, but like I don't want him to be like more into fitness than me.
So, but we
Right.
have
I want him to
built.
be-
So let's get one more so we can
No.
land at
We're
5.
gonna let's say built one more time.
Built again.
Yeah. So you like built. You know, I like built. And
I
here's the
like-
thing. I like guys who work out
I like
and are built.
muscles,
Get
but
it.
like not someone
See?
that's too insane. Like I
Okay.
want him to be like more like easygoing about it.
Yeah.
Like,
So we
it's
have-
a lifestyle, but it's not like a bodybuilder.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
have built times 2, teeth not too hairy.
He has to be also anything, anything but like white. Like I love anyone that's like
Anything but white.
Ethnically ambiguous.
Ethnically, no, he has to be something ethnic. Like
Yeah.
anything that's not.
You hear that, girls? Persian and black is the new ethnically ambiguous. Half Persian,
Wait,
half
are you
black.
Persian?
And black. Yeah.
And black.
Oh my god, I totally guessed it! Oh my god, we were like, what is his race? We need to know.
We're
It's
like,
like
he has to
black
be
and
like a
Persian
half
or
black and
something.
That's what's up.
That's
There you
hilarious.
go.
Wow, I'm actually congratulating myself.
Yeah,
on
you
that.
should.
I totally
Because
guessed
that's
that.
a
You're the one who
difficult
called
guess.
the Persian.
Yeah, it is.
Excellent work.
And I'm usually not very good at that,
No,
but like maybe I am.
excellent work because you're cultured. You're cultured, and that's a great crush. So out of the question was the out of shape crush. There was no, not even Thor
even a
in
chance.
Avengers Endgame.
No.
Out of shape. Like you just
Yeah,
can't be out
there's
of
no
shape.
chance.
Nose jobs on men.
Get that? I
I
had no idea.
Just no.
No,
That's all I have to
Stop it.
say about that.
Stopping.
That's a real
Guys,
thing.
so if a guy has a really large nose and you fit all of your demands, built times 2, nice teeth, not too hairy, nice beard, ethnically ambiguous, would you consider him?
Interesting.
Huge nose. Would
Huge
you prefer
nose.
him to keep the huge nose or get a nose job? He fit everything, just a nose. And everybody knows about the nose. Everybody knows.
I mean, I don't see why not.
What would you prefer?
I would say you can keep his nose.
You keep the nose.
I
He
mean,
is imperfectly
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we
Perfect
go.
gentleman live on Dash.
perfect.
That's what it
I
is.
just
Keep
feel
the nose.
like people who mess with their face, like, I mean, your face is like obviously we're all made different, but it's like your face is the main characteristic of you, and that's like if you mess with that, I feel like you just mess with your whole everything. Like you can't change your face. I don't know.
You know what I
I don't know what I'm
was
trying
wondering?
to say. But
You know what I was wondering? Like, what if you're born just feeling like you're like DiCaprio, right? You just have that swag in you, blah blah, and then you just have this like really big nose that he doesn't have, and then the worst thing is when people see you, they judge you. The first thing you can judge someone on seeing them. What I learned in communication, A, what they're wearing, right, and then B, if they're smiling or not, and C, their physical appearance. So someone can't help their physical appearance, and I always wondered when I'm like, I try not to judge people because what if they on the inside they're the complete opposite of what I'm looking at, and we need to consider that a little more sometimes.
Yeah, totally. Because it's like you can't. To me, it's like you can't judge someone based on their appearance because like we don't choose our appearance. So how can you make a judgment on someone's character based on what they look like?
Teron's never done that in his life.
I wear
He's
a
a-
bathrobe.
He's a
I don't judge.
I love the bathroom, by
I
the
don't
way.
judge. I don't judge. You know?
he doesn't judge.
Everyone. I judge everyone all the time. All
Equal
the time.
opportunist.
I judge everyone all the time at any given
So
second.
we're saying keep the nose.
Keep the nose.
Yeah,
so
keep
we
it-
get a
yeah.
question from our listener each and every week. And you can listen to everyone who gets upset that we don't get to your question. I promise you, we try our best. Email us your questions at
imperfectgshow@gmail.com.
let us know what you think. Now, this is actually a specific one. It had to do a lot with you and your profession because it is from Steph. I love to eat curry is the person. Every week we have they get to pick an anonymous name, so people try to come up with.
So we don't know, but we at least I'm gonna assume her name is Steph.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Maybe her name was Steph. I didn't even think about that. I was just Steph. I love to eat curry. Yeah. Okay. That was cute. That was a cute one. Okay. I am a gymnast, and as a teenager, I was a ballerina. When I told the guy that I was dating, he expected me to be extremely, what's this word? Freaky. I think she tried to say freaky and kinky at the same time.
Freaky.
She called it
I like
freaky.
that.
Freaky. He assumed I would be extremely frinky in bed. He's always asking me to do crazy positions.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind doing them, but should I?
Like,
has this ever come up with, I mean, specifically, it's interesting of a question. We post who's coming and then whoever relates. And the concept is, especially with your Instagram positions.
And your Jamaican positions.
You do a lot of these flexible yoga positions. Do guys expect you to do these things sexually?
They
and do you mind?
They do definitely ask to do random flexible things.
Put your legs behind your head type stuff?
Things like that. And I just laugh, and I like it. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I think it's, I'm just a pleaser, I guess. So I'm different, but I guess in her situation, if she doesn't feel comfortable with that, or if she can't really get in those weird positions, or she doesn't feel.
It's interesting. I'm getting from her question now. I'm not sure because we get the question in the same way you do. We hear it. We don't know these people, but we do thank you all for sending in your questions. And we encourage the anonymity because that's how people feel the most comfortable. Mm-hmm. So the thing about it is, I don't think she minds doing it because she specifically said, I don't mind doing it, but should I? Is it because now that the boyfriend knows he expects it? Maybe she wanted to do it on her own. And sometimes when guys think something, I remember we actually had I don't remember. We've had several people in the adult industry who come here, and they've brought up when guys find out they're in the adult industry, they start treating them differently because now they're expecting something else where that's not the case. The case is they're just normal women who happen to work in the adult industry, but that's not who they are in their personal lives. The same way the guy at Kinko's who works at Kinko's probably doesn't want to copy or bring paper all the time when you're at home.
Right.
Take notes, but you work at Kinko's.
So there's some level, it seems with Steph something Curry.
Steph, I love to eat curry.
Steph loves to eat curry. That it seems what I'm sensing, Steph, is there an anxiety being ascribed to the positions because it's coming across, like you said, as a demand. And now there's a expectation you have to live up to. Is that maybe have y'all been in situations?
Well, does it fetishize what you do? You know? Hannah, you're into fitness. Do you have guys who are yo, I want you to come here and put me in a chokehold and be like, you're my bitch now? I don't know.
No, that's never happened. But I agree with what she was saying. I think what you were saying too, once it's kind of something that's expected, that's when it's you don't really want to do it as much. Because like you were saying, it's maybe she would have been down to do it, but on her own time, on her own terms. And now she feels a little bit more pressured to do it. You never want to feel pressured to be a certain way, I guess. So, I think if, like Mel said, if you feel comfortable doing that or if you enjoy doing it, then go for it. But if you don't, then don't. I feel that's simple.
But does it bother you if someone asks? Think about it. If someone asked in a certain way, would it bother you? Or does it matter how your connection is with that person?
I would say, yeah, it would. Because I personally don't like being put into a box or put into
Don't put baby in a corner. I get it.
Yeah, being put into a certain category or having certain expectations about what I do or about me as a person just from what I choose to do as an occupation, I guess. So yeah, I would say, yeah, it would bother me.
The difficult line here to draw is this, Steph loves to eat curry. Is this your partner's preference?
Steph, I love curry.
I love curry. Is this your partner's preference or is it a demand? And kind of differentiating the two. And if it is a preference and you love this person and you're not so opposed to it, then maybe have a conversation, take back control of it, say, here's how I feel about it, and when I'm ready, I'll try it. If it's coming across as an expectation, and that's a different conversation you need to have with your partner and say, hey, look, I don't do well under these circumstances. And while I may value you, this isn't going to work in the long run. So
is that how you guys feel about it?
Yeah, I could agree with that. Like, I think if it's, you know, if it's someone that like you're dating or that you're in a relationship with, you have to make some sort of sacrifices sometimes. Like, you have to come to like a middle ground. Like you said, if it's like their preference and you want to make them happy, then go for it. But if it makes you feel uncomfortable, then like they should respect that too. So I think you can both find like a common ground.
What's the weirdest weirdest position someone's asked you to do?
Me?
Yeah. Weirdest position. Someone's been like, can you do runs with dog, umbrella face? Like, I don't know yoga positions, but
honestly, I can't really think of like a weird position. I think they're all
great position. What's the most complicated position someone's asked you to do?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I've been asked like to be in a handstand and
handstand? What? That doesn't even seem fun. There's like blood is rushing to your face.
Or like,
how would that happen? You're just in a handstand. Trust me, it would happen. Okay.
I mean, if they're tall enough.
Yeah, that's what I was.
But I'm pretty
like,
sure, so it works.
Yeah,
if you think about it.
Oh yeah.
Or
just think about it.
Hold on. Let's take a time. Let's take a second, everybody. Can you please get a close up on Mel and close up on Mel.
On Mel.
Thank you, Martin. And we're thinking about it. I'll be right back. I need to.
Wait, what?
We were just thinking about it. It works. Okay, so.
It does work if, you know.
But if you're too tall, it won't work.
I think that if you're too short.
We need to move on. We're crossing lines here that we shouldn't be crossing on here. Let's get to the topic of the week. The topic of the week this week is going to be long distance relationships.
Ooh.
As we see many celebrity couples who live in different areas have to stay in a relationship even though they're apart. And obviously the most popular example right now is J-Lo and A-Rod, who are often apart but have to keep up. And J-Lo,
they've been doing a good job.
Yeah, and they talked about the things that they do. How are long distance relationships perceived from your perspective?
I mean,
and do they work?
I personally am like, I would not do it.
You don't like it?
No. But it does depend on the situation. Like, if this is someone that you are super committed to, and maybe it started out like you were living in the same vicinity and then it became long distance, I could see how you could try to make that work. But
compromise.
Yeah, but like, I wouldn't start a relationship in a long distance setting. Yeah. Because to me, it's like, what's the point? Like, if you are in different places, hardly like ever seeing each other, then yeah, you could have some type of a relationship, but like not really.
That's, I'm glad you pointed that out, because when you're building, some people call it building, and I like the word building a lot. I use it a lot. When you're building a relationship, that's where proximity matters the most.
Yeah,
right?
Getting to know
so
the person.
So that's a very valid point you made. Trying to get to know someone from far away and build with them from far away without being in their presence is very, very difficult to do.
Yeah.
And I like the thought of when you're in more of a committed, longer relationship. Later on, you've built that foundation. Now maybe you can make some compromises, but it's a very difficult compromise to make in the building stage. So Mel Spired, what are your thoughts?
I've actually been in a long distance relationship, and it was probably like the most fun relationship I've ever been in, just because every time we would see each other, it would be such an adventure. It'd be such a crazy weekend, like somewhere new. Like it was fun because we were both able to travel at that time. He was just in San Francisco, so not too far, but like we would make a trip. Oh, like let's go to Coachella. Oh, let's go to New York for the week. Oh, like let's
sounds expensive.
And yeah, I mean, and that was like, it was so fun, but like, and both of us were able to do it, and like it wasn't about like money or anything, but I mean, money was okay with both of us. Like we were both. Like I had the time, and like he was like, "Oh, babe, like just come, like let me fly you."
And
there.
he had the money.
And he had the money.
Like you had the time, he had the money.
Exactly.
Yeah. So remember our original question about paying? Okay.
Here we go. Circling back to the beginning.
It's bookending. So when it comes to long distance, you guys had a lot of fun times, but was there anything meaningful? Were you did it feel good because every time you did see each other, it was for a burst and therefore it felt fun?
It felt really fun, and you're right though, and that's why it ended, was because we weren't able to actually build that that serious connect. Like we were connected because we were both so easygoing, and
you were doing handstands. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean it was so much fun, but.
Yeah.
And but we're still friends to this day. But we decided it's impossible to like why are we doing this?
It's impossible to fly you out to Coachella every weekend. Yes.
Well, and Vegas,
it's just financially unsustainable at some point. At some point, it's like
unless you're really, really rich.
But even if you're really, really rich,
he was really rich, but
you have to figure out, is this worth? Like, sure, but is there like.
Melspiration's absolutely worth it.
Yeah, sure. Sure, that sounds great in theory. But in real life, guys are creatures of convenience.
Yeah.
So whatever is convenient is what's going to happen. I'm just being very
No, it's very
upfront.
true.
It is very true.
And I was definitely convenient in that time. And then he definitely realized that he needs someone closer.
Yeah.
And
because we need someone who's consistent, and I can hit up and be like, yo, hey, I had a hard day.
Yeah.
No, come over and suck me up before.
Okay,
No, I mean,
come
it's
on.
True.
Well,
it's
look,
true.
I'm attacking.
Let's be real.
It is true. I'm attacking
It is
Tehran,
true.
but in Tehran's defense, we've asked a question on this show in the past a few times. We said, what is the most important part to you in a relationship? An overwhelming amount of our guests did say the number one thing was sex. Now, in a long-distance relationship, what are your thoughts if you can't have the sex when you want it? Is that going to create problems?
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like...
For sure.
Calm down, Hannah. Calm down.
You are really convicted.
Jeez. Yeah. Couldn't wait to say yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yes. Okay, Hannah.
Hell yeah.
Please tell us, what do you mean?
Oh, man. I mean, I think mostly, well, for girls and guys, but nothing against you guys. But I mean, you did say,
Let's be real.
for guys, yeah, it is a very, it's
Well,
like
let's
a
hear. I
convenience
want to
thing.
hear the female perspective. We know what boys. We are constantly bombarded with the male voice. We'd love to hear the female perspective.
Well, I mean, I've been in relationships that weren't necessarily long distance, but went through.
But they were
periods.
trash in bed. Yeah, they were just trash in bed. This is you, Marcus. We mean you, Marcus. It's you. You know who you are. You get 0 stars on Yelp. Your bed game was trash.
I mean, that wasn't where I was going, but okay. But I mean,
Fuck you, Marcus.
there's been periods of time where it was long distance, and I think that was a major issue, was the fact that that convenience wasn't there. So I think that caused a lot of problems. And to me, it's that is a huge part of a relationship, because without sex, it's you're basically what is it? It's I feel it's very important, and it keeps you connected. So if you don't have that, there's something the connection's kind of thrown off,
Sure.
in my opinion.
Sure. So sex is a big problem in the long distance relationship. It's not consistent. It's not all the time. And also makeup sex. Makeup sex plays a part. You fight and there's no bonding right
Right.
after. There's nothing to.
That's
it's
a
just-
really good point.
You go
yeah.
on.
True.
But what else?
I never
What about
thought of
the little experiences like, I don't know, doing laundry together or getting McDonald's and Netflix and chilling?
Yeah, that's honestly like because I've been in that long distance, I know now that I don't want that again.
Sure.
Like,
Wow.
especially like socially, like I'm a very social being and I want my person, like I want our groups to always to be around each other. You know, it's weird not being friends with your man's friend.
Yeah, I
Did
compartmentalize,
you-
so I never do that.
I'm a
Actually,
fan of
Really?
I'm compartmentalized
So
all the way.
he taught me this practice.
No way.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
tell y'all something.
I'll tell you why.
I'm going to tell y'all my experience of the result,
Yeah.
and then we'll have Dr. Turan speak on the DNA of this philosophy.
Sure, please.
I was dating a beautiful woman out in D.C., my hometown. She had a friend who she decided to involve in the relationship. So my girlfriend travels to Italy, and she says, "Oh, why don't you hang out with my friend while I'm gone?" And I thought, this is a bit different. I'm dating you, not the friend.
Yeah.
I'll hang out with the friend. Sure. That was a little different. I felt, though, a discomfort that I didn't understand until my doctor examined me. So I'm hanging out with friend and being a perfect gentleman to friend.
Being a gentleman.
Paying for the dinners and
Paying for
lunches
dinner.
and
They're
going
dating
around.
at this point. They're dating.
And meanwhile, friend
It's a little weird.
is telling my girlfriend mean things about me, saying
Talking
that
trash.
she doesn't think we should be together,
Talking
hell no.
so much
so
trash.
forth. I don't know this is all going on. And then friend says, "Oh, George, you have a friend in town." He said he wanted to meet some people. Why don't you bring him out? I'm going to be with all of your girlfriend's friends. You'll get to know them more and me. We're going to hang out in a restaurant. Cool. I arrived to the restaurant with my buddy, and it's friend of girlfriend, but she's surrounded by 6 other men. That was interesting. Maybe she thought my buddy was into men, which he wasn't. And as the conversations start coming up, "Oh, so how do you two know each other?" And I say my girlfriend's name. And the guy's like, "Oh, yeah, I used to date her." And then another guy's like, "Yeah, I used to date her too." And another guy's like, "Well, I hooked up with her back in the day." She and friend invited all 6 exes of my girlfriend.
Yeah, and what's crazy, this whole time I'm in Italy with his girlfriend.
What? Shut up.
That part's not
Involved
Is
in an
this
orgy.
real?
No, that's not.
Oh my god.
So the point is,
Roman, okay.
by hanging around
Was
with,
the Roman orgy part too far? Is that what it
Yeah,
was?
that's too far. By hanging out with friend, I felt I overexposed. I
You were
didn't-
sabotaged.
I didn't do something called compartmentalizing, which the doctor, please now explain the philosophies behind
Here's
what
the
happened.
here's the concept of the compartmentalization. Now, this is how it is. It's really nice when you have groups of friends that meet when you're married. But up to that point, this is what happens. Oftentimes, you'll see a girl post, "This is my king forever and ever," every 3 months under a different guy's picture. And at some point, you're like, "Bitch, you're just a servant. Like, who is your king?" Right? Everyone's your king. And the reason is because you've cross-pollinated. You have too many things going on. Your friends and their friends, and then what happens when it doesn't work out? Now your friends have to choose. Now you have to separate the house, the boxes, the pet, and your friends.
Very true.
So my concept is this. My person is my private life. This is my escape from everything else. This is the person who is my vacation. So I don't like involving my person in my public life.
Yes.
And that's why a lot of celebrities keep their relationships extremely private. We are always out and about.
And the
So when
ones
you
with
are,
the private relationships are the ones we don't hear
ones that-
drama
they
about.
last. Everyone
true.
looks at Will Smith and Jada Pinkett like, you do realize that they didn't just wake up one day and get married. They dated for a substantial amount of time before they got married, but we did not hear about that time. And that is why they have lasted. However, with someone like Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston, we heard about everything they did. And then the breakup. But that breakup wasn't an uncommon breakup. It was a very normal breakup, but now everyone's in their business.
Yes.
Everyone's in their business.
And
And,
then
that's the complication.
And then, like he was saying, now you have to choose. Well, so my ex now, okay, we broke up. Now we broke up on Facebook. Now we're unfriended on Facebook. But some of the friends, some of my homies who used to always compliment how beautiful my girlfriend was, they're still friends with her on Facebook. They're still liking her photos. That's a little awkward situation for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm still sleeping with her in Italy in that Roman orgy. We're going tomorrow, actually. We're flying
No
out.
wonder she tasted like bathrobe.
No, that's hurtful. That's hurtful.
You hurt me.
That's hurtful. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. And in long distance relationships, I understand you can't have mutual groups of friends. It's difficult, but I actually think that's one part of the long distance relationship that does work. If you keep up with the long distance relationship, it's better.
It's a marathon.
And like we each met like, you know, like one or two of our closest friends.
Sure, that's different
which
than
was cool.
groups of friends.
It was cool actually, because then it was like, oh, I would go home and like have my fitness people, because he wasn't into fitness. He was like more into like.
Was he out of shape?
He actually, I mean, he was like naturally like a little built, but yeah, he wasn't like totally in shape. Yeah, you're right. But I still thought he was great. Like I love that.
What made him so great that you overlooked your two pillars of being built?
Well, he was ethnic and he had facial hair, so those are two good things. No,
NBA.
He was just
He played
really
in the
fun,
NBA.
And he let me be myself.
Football player.
He like
NFL. NBA. NFL.
No.
NFL. NFL.
What about it?
Nothing.
I'm thinking more Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo? No, I don't know.
No.
This was someone's manager, someone's, this is musician?
I won't talk about it.
Yeah, of course not. We don't want you
He's
to.
up in Humboldt.
Oh,
Yeah.
he grows weed.
Yeah.
He's a weed grower.
Or he's not a grower. He's like a
broker? There's nothing to not talk about. This is a taboo we need to get over.
Yeah, it's accepted.
Weed is now.
Oh, I know. It's legal. Yeah.
It's legal in California, and more importantly, it's also becoming federally accepted. So, because people talk about it as if they're still doing corner deals, and they're not. Because Marlboro is getting into it, and these big pharma's getting into it, and they aren't doing corner deals. They're shutting down all the corner deal people. So, anyway, good for him. Let's get into the long distance. So now we have, it's hard to have sex. It's hard to communicate on a daily basis. But what else scares you about a long distance relationship? Is it because it's easier to cheat when it's long distance? Does that play?
That's a big thing.
Yeah, I would say that's a big thing.
I feel like it's hard for both. Like when you're in a situation where like you miss them and then like you're like out and you meet
It goes
someone.
back to like the convenience thing, because it's like if you're in a place like a vulnerable place, or you just really need that like emotional support, or you're just really fucking horny one night. I mean, you know,
or you're
like
you live in LA, Miami, New York, and you're surrounded around by a lot of good-looking people.
Yeah, totally. But at the same time, though, I don't think that's like a main thing with long distance. Like it is with long distance, but even if you're dating someone like around like that you live close to, like it's still very easy to find someone else. There's all the dating
I mean,
apps,
if you live in Burbank and then I find someone in West Hollywood where I live, then that's even better. If I find someone in my building, sure.
Right.
She's 55. 3 grandkids and a cat. That's my boo. That's boo. She lives 2 doors down. You know what I'm saying? I love you, boo. Yeah, I'll hold her hand. I'll walk around. She's 72, and it's like, yeah. She gives me that granny good. It is what it is.
So you're a proximity person.
Proximity means a lot to me.
I mean, it's like if you're gonna cheat, you're gonna cheat. Like you'll find a way.
Sure.
You know? So I think maybe the long distance will make it like maybe a little bit more common for that to happen, or more prone for that to happen. But to me, it's like if the person's gonna do it, they'll do it regardless if you're long distance.
No. Yeah. I think it's a little easier long distance, and I do want to say when it comes to proximity, if you are long distance, then you should be on your best behavior at all times. You need to be great. Like you can't stress me out from long distance and then expect me to
add a doubt or stress or negativity. You know, I've been, in love with someone very far away, and I believe because of the lack of proximity, she ended up seeing someone else, and I had to get Tarot on the phone to call her and remind her of how much
Jedi mind her. I had a Jedi mind.
How much I loved her, But it was a challenge.
I manipulated her. I didn't.
No, you didn't.
Remind her. Yeah,
you spoke the truth.
I used keywords. I used the Pavlov trick or two. Stockholm syndrome. I used a lot of variety of psychological tricks.
Yeah.
My doctor had to remind her of how real.
And it was just a quick talk, and then
was for her.
She's back. Yeah.
Then she left again. But
like I had to condition her to a bell. Like I would ring a bell. It was crazy. It was a lot.
But it does. It adds these challenges. But at the end of the day, I feel that if the person's truly worth it to you,
she'll be rich. No,
you
had something else.
You will both fight to make it work. Mm-hmm. Not to say that my end consensus, curry lover, is that not to say that it can't work, but it will be more challenging.
Amen.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, if you're long distance, when you fly home, it better be great. Like you better do Melspiration poses and shut the fuck up. And like if you come here, it's like, oh, I don't know, I'm not in the mood. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. You're not in the mood. All right. All right. All right. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. Granny Good's in the mood. Granny Good. She's 2 doors down. 94, but great. Like she's about that life.
Profound.
She's about that
Profound.
life. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. We appreciate you.
It's been an adventure.
You've been wonderful.
It was.
For sure.
Very interesting conversation. I love it.
Here's the thing. Each and every week we pick an imperfect gentleman of the week that embodies the characteristics of an imperfect gentleman. And this week is 21-year-old Riley Howell, who was one of 2 students killed on Tuesday when a shooter opened fire with a handgun inside a classroom full of nearly 50 students. 4 other students were injured. Riley gave his life on purpose to save everyone else.
Wow.
Knowing that it would be certain demise. This is at UNC Charlotte, of course. And he was an ROTC student, and I wish there were more Riley Howells in the world. This is a man.
I know y'all don't like the arm here, but the goosebumps are real right now.
Yeah.
Chills are
so
real.
that is a real thing. So
brave.
Riley, you are the imperfect gentleman of the week.
God bless you. Rest in peace. And what
It's
you
amazing.
did will never be forgotten. Not by only the kids in that classroom, but the rest of the world who is watching.
Yeah, that's not true. I wish that were true. We're going to forget next week when the next thing happens, and we're just going to move on because that's how we work. Kim Kardashian is going to tweet a picture of her ass, and we're just going to be like, Riley who? But at least we've immortalized you on this show, Imperfect Gentleman. Thank you so much, Riley, for doing what you do. Where can 2 people, way to bring the party down, Tehran. Where can people find you two if you want to be found?
So sad.
It's not sad though. It actually gives you hope, and this is why this isn't about sadness. This is actually
Realness.
a hopeful thing. It gives me hope in humanity because every time that I just lose faith in humanity, a Riley Howell happens.
Something like that happens.
A Riley Howell happens, and it changes my perception because then I get awareness and I get hope and faith
I like
again.
that. You know what? There
me
are
too.
there are a lot more Rileys out there. We just don't see it often because I feel like people too much get obsessed with the negative news, and we need to start shining light on these things a lot more often.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, so
Totally.
it's great.
Good work.
And you guys can be Rileys too. Where can people find you if you want to be found?
So my Instagram is HannahRose_fit.
Should have been Hannah Banana, but Hannah Rose _fit. You're an underscore
Yes,
girl.
I'm an underscore. I know because my name was taken.
Hannah
Isn't
Rose
that rude?
_fit. We should
to
find
throw
her
the
and beat her
underscore
up.
in
You
there.
have enough muscles. And then Mel, where can people find you?
And my Instagram is Melspiration.
That's right, because you give people Melspiration.
I
to
am
do
Melspired by the Melspiration. By the Melspirational.
Thank you so much, both of you, for being on the show.
Thank
I
you.
am Tehran Literally, and I am Tehran all across the board on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And of course, I'm alongside.
I was switching into GK Supreme, but I feel uplifted. I feel like I brought it together. So I'm Mr. George Corey. You know where to find me.
KHOURI. Find him on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter as well. And of course, our show, Imperfect G Show. And we are
Imperfect Gentlemen.
Remember, nobody's perfect. But us. We'll see you guys next week. Martin on the boards.
You're good.